Big news, Lutron just released a new smart dimmer switch. I've been testing it out myself, and it might be perfect. Maybe. Basically, Lutron took all of the complaints from the existing Caseta dimmer switches and fixed them with this one. But there might be one potential deal breaker for some of you, and don't worry, I'll explain what that is and let you decide. Lutron sent me the Diva Smart Dimmer Switch early so I could check it out, but they are not paying me, they didn't get to see this video early, and they have no input on what I say in this video. Alright, let's unbox this thing, or should I say take it out of the plastic packaging, which I hate this stuff. If I can get the light switch out without cutting up my hands, then I'm happy. So taking a look at the outside of the switch, you can see that the wires are slightly different than the old Caseta dimmers. It still does not require a neutral wire, which is great for older houses, but there's this new blue wire, and that's used with three-way lights. So the old dimmer switches could not work with three-way lights. You just had to use a Pico remote instead of a three-way light switch. But now this new one can connect to your existing paddle switch in a three-way configuration. So that's great. You don't have to buy another Pico remote and add to that device limit, which is capped at 75. There's also no metal tabs on the side that you would normally have to remove on the old ones when placing them next to each other. Obviously, the biggest difference is how you dim the light switch. So Lutron has already been making non-smart dimmer switches called the Diva, and this is the same design, but now it works with Caseta, so it's smart. As you can guess by looking at it, there are paddle buttons that turn the light on and off. And this makes it really easy to press while walking past compared to the old Lutron Caseta dimmer switches. This was one of my major complaints with the old Caseta dimmer switches, since they have those really small on-off buttons. And when you were walking past it, you could accidentally hit the dimmer button instead of the off button, and it wouldn't turn off the lights. So I like this new design so much more, plus it blends in with the other paddle switches. There's also the small slider that dims the lights. Not only is there a dimmer slider, but there's an LED light bar behind the slider to show the brightness level. I love the look of this, and the little slider is so much faster to use than the arrows on the old switches. You can still change the brightness in the app, even though the physical slider is set to a certain point. This solves a big complaint people had with the previous Caseta dimmer switches, because if they dim the lights and then turn them off, when they went to turn them back on, it wouldn't go to that dim setting, it would go to 100% brightness. Yikes! But this one has the physical slider, so when you turn on the lights, it only goes up to where the physical slider is set to, which is much better. I showed my wife Allie this feature because I thought she'd love it. Well, she did, but now she's mad because our old Caseta switches don't have this feature. Great! And with this new dimmer switch, if you want the brightness to go all the way up to 100%, you just tap the on button twice. Another feature I like about this new switch is that you can hold down on the bottom button to put a delay on turning off the lights so you can walk out of the room. The little LED bar will start to flash to know that this has been enabled, and then after about 10 seconds, the lights will slowly dim, so you have plenty of time to walk away. Alright, so did Lutron create the perfect smart light switch? Well, they got extremely close. They fixed many of the complaints people had with the previous smart light switches, but there might be one potential deal breaker, and that is the clickiness of the rocker switch, or I should say the lack thereof. The rocker switch is very squishy, and it doesn't have that clicky tactile feedback that you might be used to with like a normal regular switch, or lots of other smart dimmer switches out there. And I know that was one of the big complaints people had with the previous Caseta dimmer switches, is that it felt kind of squishy, and those old ones are more clicky than this new one. So yeah, that might be an issue for you, but to be honest, it's not that big of a deal for me because I hardly use the physical buttons on the switch since they're all automated with my smart home. Of course, it has all the things you love about Caseta and that it works with most smart home platforms out there, and it's extremely reliable using that Clear Connect. Honestly, my biggest complaint is that it didn't come out a year and a half ago when I bought tons of Lutron switches all over my house. But I think this is the best smart light switch you can get right now. It is expensive though, at $70. And the new on-off switch that just was released is a little bit cheaper at $60, and that does require a neutral wire, so be aware of that. But let me know, do you think it's worth that price and it's the best smart light switch you can get? Or is that squishy, non-tactile button gonna be a deal breaker for you? Let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching.
I wish these old Lutron dimmers worked like the new one.
Diva?
What did you just say?
What? You heard me, Diva.
Wow, I can't believe you would call me that.
What? No, Diva is the name of the light switch.